next project is kind of an experiment. Growing up, we played with some model trains, HO scale in particular, and we had a little setup and we had a lot of fun with it growing up. Anyways, my son is going to be turning 1 in a couple of weeks here, and we're next to a train track, and every time that train comes by, his eyes light up and we have to carry him to the window, and he just loves looking at that train. So I figured, let me break out those old trains, come up with a little train setup, and maybe have something to play with. This is basically a little scale model that I threw together of kind of what I'm looking to make. We burned this out on the laser just to kind of make sure everything fits and just have an idea of what it's going to look like. Here's the actual table that we cut out on the router, minus the tabletop and the bottom piece. I'll cut those out later. But tonight I'm going to focus on making the framework, the inner core of this table, so that it can be nice and dry and I can put the top on tomorrow. So I know I'm working on building that space out down in the basement, but we haven't put that staircase in yet, and according to my smartphone here, it's looking like it's about 29 degrees outside, and I don't feel like walking outside to go down there and carrying all this stuff, so I'm just going to try and wing it and build this thing in the office. Hope you don't mind. It's kind of cramped in here, but it's nice and warm. It's about 73 degrees in here and a lot more comfortable. So I'm just going to build this thing out on the floor and see where it takes us. I'm going to be using this Titebond 3. I don't know if this is better than Titebond 1 or 2, but 3 was the highest number, so it's got to be better, right? And it's the ultimate wood glue. I mean, this has got to be the best stuff. So we'll see how that works. Now I machined all these little grooves to be a little tighter than the actual thickness of the wood, so it should have a little bit of a press fit and pretty much hold itself together without glue, but the glue is going to make it nice and tight, kind of bring it all together as one piece. Should just take a couple of taps to the hammer, and then I've got some pipe clamps that's just going to hold it together and sandwich it until it's dry. And let's get started on that. Alright, so we let this thing dry for a day. I was thinking that it would be kind of cool to add some lights to this, because in the end, just like this little scale model here, we're going to have all these little cubby holes where we can store trains and train parts and whatnot, and it would be kind of cool if they were backlit. So I'm just going to go ahead and run some strips. In hindsight, it would be nice to have just cut some little notches in here to have clearance for the lights, but whatever. It'll still look cool. So for lights, I'm going with this little LED strip kit. You can buy these on Amazon. They come in all kinds of different brands, colors, shapes, different LED configurations. I can't even remember where I bought these. I mean, it was obviously on Amazon, but I can't even remember when, because I buy so many of these things, I just pulled it off the shelf. So typically what comes with these kits, you got your light strip, power supply with the power cord, and then inside a little white box. It's always a little white box. Comes with a remote, so you can choose your colors. It's RGB, so we can choose all the different colors or leave it white. And then the little pickup for the remote that you plug into the light strip. One of the things I hate most about these things is this cheap adhesive that comes on these. This adhesive strip is junk. All of them, it's junk. You'll stick it on there, and literally the next day, you'll see it sagging and falling off. So we're going to be using some hot glue. Hot glue is not my favorite adhesive choice, but I think it's gonna be perfect in this situation. So let's get on it. Well, we got the lights installed. One thing I've always learned is check these things out, make sure they work before you go any further, because sometimes you can like mess up a little section of it and only half of it will work. So let's do that real quick and go from there. Looks good to me. Next step, I'm going to take this top, glue it down, clamp it in a couple spots, make sure it's roughly squarish. This isn't going to be like a fabrication table or anything. As long as it's pretty flat, then it'll be fine for a model train track. So, all right. Well, I believe that's going to do it. If you noticed, I've left a little bit of an overhang here, about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch all the way around it. I'm going to hit it with a flush trimming bit with a router tomorrow after it's dry, and that should make it nice and even all the way around. And then I'll even hit it with a little radiusing tool, and probably even hit these holes a little bit, make them a little smoother, so when you're putting your hands in and out, you're not going to get any little splinters or anything. And then I guess the next step after that, glue on the bottom, and then give it a little seal with some polyurethane, and then start laying some track. So we'll report back tomorrow. Well, now this table is nice and smooth, I'm going to be sealing it with this acrylic polyurethane. I'm going with a matte finish just because I like it better. Sometimes gloss kind of makes things look a little cheesy, in my opinion. But we're sealing with poly just so that it'll hopefully keep rings from cups off of this, keep fingerprints off of it, and just keep the dirt out of the wood grain, and just make it a little cleaner looking. So here we go. Let's let this dry and put some track on this thing. I guess the only thing left to do now is install this track and then run some trains. I went ahead and got this HO starter kit by Atlas. It's just got a simple layout, kind of an oval track with a little bypass. Not too complex, but it'll be good for starting out. And for now, we're just gonna have the track right on the table. We might add some buildings or some foliage down the road, but right now I just want to, have something for my son to look at and play with, just to get some trains going around a track. So we're going to use these little brads that are designed specifically for this track. The holes in this track is like really tiny, so I wanted to make sure I didn't have anything that was too big and spread apart the plastic and break it. So went ahead and got these for the price. It may as well. I don't have a hammer small enough to fit inside of this track to nail these things in. I'm just going to hold them in place with this pair of pliers and hit them with a regular hammer, get them kind of started, and I'll come back with a punch and finish them off. Track's installed. I drilled a couple holes here to install the wires that go to the track. Apparently the new way of doing it is soldering, or is having the wires soldered to one of the little terminal connectors. I remember back in the day there used to be a section of track where there would be screw terminals where you'd screw it in. I thought it was kind of cheesy at first, but it's kind of cool because if you put these holes here, it almost looks like there's nothing powering the track. Only problem was when I bent it through the hole, I broke a solder joint, so I'm just going to hit that with some solder and then run some wire to the transformer and should be good to go. To solder this, I'm going to use this little, I'm going to call it cordless because it's so short and I don't have to rely on shore power. I can just run it off this little battery. This is just a 3S LiPo battery that you use to power an RC car. This is one of the most handy tools that I've purchased because I can just go anywhere and solder. I'm here with electricity, but it's so easy. I'm just going to do this. I'll put a link in the description to where you can buy one of these. They're pretty cheap. Now that the track's installed, fastened down, let's install the transformer. I'm just using this old one that I had kicking around. This thing is probably older than I am, to be honest, but it still works. And I'm not going to spend any money on a nice one because I might switch to DCC down the road, and I don't want to invest in something that's going to be a stepping stone. So anyway, let's get this thing on here. It's just 2 wires, so it'll go pretty quick. Alright, there you have it. Working train, kinda, on the new table. These things are pretty old, so I'm probably going to have to do a little cleaning on them to make them move a little smoother, but it's a good start. Pause this for a second. So, hope you had as much fun watching me build this thing as I had fun building it. I really like the design of this torsion table. So don't be surprised if you see some more of these popping up in the shop. I think I might do some workbenches out of them. Everyone's got like a YouTube table, so I think I'm going to build a YouTube table out of one of these and just have cameras and lights fixtured to it, so it'll be really easy to do projects on the surface. I'll probably end up selling kits for people to build them themselves because it's a little hard to cut out these oval shapes without a CNC router. And I'll probably end up selling some DXF files too. If you got a CNC router yourself and can't make the file, then you can buy the file and make one of these tables just doing that. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.